So, learning to live authentically, right? That's a perpetual struggle. It's helpful for us to maybe surround ourselves with the people who allow us to be fully ourselves. But how do you do that? How do you find those people when you don't even know who you are? When I don't know who I am? For most of my life, I've struggled with my identity. Being both gay and Korean American can be complicated. And often my behavior was an expression of internal struggles that I was often unaware of. But it wasn't always this way. See, I grew up in New York City, and among the millions of residents and visitors in that vibrant, energetic place, you can see all kinds of people. There in New York, it's easy to be yourself. Things changed when I went to college. Everything that was familiar to me was gone. You see, I went to high school where playing Magic the Gathering was normal, and most of my classmates spoke a language other than English at home. Instead, now, of trying to get cheap tickets to the new Broadway musical on the weekends, I was drinking myself to oblivion because that's what everybody else around me was doing, and I felt like that's what I had to do. I was once proud of speaking Korean on the phone with my mom in the hustle and bustle of Penn Station, telling her that I was coming home from school. And in college, I became acutely aware of how different I was. And I wish I had hardened my sense of identity then. But how do I do that? How do I know my genuine self? There is in each and every one of you something very genuine, something authentic. And I liken it to a diamond. See, diamonds are crystal clear, and they're hard, they're impenetrable, they're indestructible, but they're brilliant. And our jobs to find those diamonds takes work. So some of you already know that I used to work here at BU. Starting last summer, I realized I was not polishing my diamond. I became aware of how much I was losing my authentic self by working here. It's not because of you, the students. I loved that part of the job. A couple months ago, I really came to that realization. So what did I do? I quit. I quit in a fiery blaze of glory. It wasn't actually that bad. It was a very amicable departure. But something really remarkable happened. 3 weeks later, in the quietness of my nightly ritual to go to bed, free from the exhaustive exposure to politics of working in a workplace like this, something became clear to me. I heard over and over and over again from college students, especially seniors, who said, I wish I knew about this person. I wish I knew you. I wish I knew this office. I wish I knew this early on. Because what people were really telling me was that they wanted to find the people they truly connected with. Who are the meaningful connections in your life, and how do you find those people right away? It was 9 o'clock at night, and I thought to myself, I have an idea for this company, for this startup. I sat down at my desk, and by the time I got up to take my first break, it was 5 in the morning. It kept me up. It was incredible, right? This energy within me that I couldn't contain, that just wanted to come out. And this is what I mean by the diamond, this authentic self within you. It is that. But why online? You know, we just heard a TED Talk by Tandy Newton about getting offline, but why online? It seems counterintuitive, right? You see, we're at a critical time in the great human arc, in our story. Yes, the world is connected, and I do have a caution about assuming that because still the majority of the world does not have access to the internet, let alone clean water or food or safety, right? But at the same time, information is plentiful now. We are able to be globally connected in ways that we haven't been able to before, although I don't think we're quite there yet, to the degree that I wish that we were. Technology has helped us in so many ways, right? So I wear this little device on my wrist. It tells me how many steps I took or how I'm sleeping. We use technology to stay connected with friends. We use technology to learn new things. So why can't technology be used to help us live authentically? But why, right? Why do we do this? I talked about this diamond, right? You are not supposed to live authentically for yourself. This is not about finding your genuine self just for you. The greatest gift you can give to the world is to live authentically, to find this diamond and let it shine. That's why I'm creating this company called Kuch, to help students do that. Let's take an example, right? Sex and dating. We use technology to find all kinds of things, and what is more human than finding intimacy, whether that's sexual or romantic or platonic? Online, you can find all kinds of people. There are websites for every kind of relationship, right? ChristianMingle.com, JDate. I don't know why they're both religious, but that's the ones I thought of. There are also sites for every kink, and I'm not going to give you any examples because that's going to be incriminating myself. Back to New York. In a lot of ways, the internet is like New York. There are countless numbers of types of people online, but also like any city like New York, you get cultural enclaves, right? Even in the face of diversity, people surround themselves with people who they think are like them. And this is important. It's not that we actually surround ourselves with the people who are like us. We surround ourselves with the people who we think are like us. And online, this can change. Actually, Ethan Zuckerman, who's the director of the Center for Civic Media at MIT, has an amazing TED Talk about this particular issue, that even online, we're not equal. Even online, we surround ourselves with the people who are like us, culturally, ethnically, ideologically, politically, and I can go down the list. So what are we to do? It's really simple, actually. I'll give you two things you can do. The first is to be critical of the kinds of connections you're making online. Do they force you to think new things? Do they force you to learn how to see the world in new ways? That's the first thing. The second thing, whenever you post or share or tweet, ask yourself, am I doing this because I'm letting the world know what's happening in my inner world? Am I letting this diamond, my authentic self, shine, as opposed to sharing something because you're like, I want to get as many likes as possible, and because you don't get a like within the next 30 minutes, you delete your post. Because like, damn it, I don't want any likes. I don't want any posts without likes, right? That's like social suicide on Facebook. Of course, there are some risks, I have to say. The question of cyberbullying came up as I was thinking about this. I have a radical solution to cyberbullying. Bullies are able to bully because they have concluded that the person they're bullying is fundamentally different from them. If we help bullies find their authentic selves, their most genuine selves, they'll stop it. People who lift themselves up by putting others down, they're not living authentically. Because once you do live authentically, just by being that, just by living that way, you lift other people up. I have a story about that, actually. So since I quit, something amazing has been happening. A lot of my close friends have been making major changes in their lives. And I had one friend tell me, Christian, I just love to be around you right now because you have all this energy and I hate my job. And of course I responded, well, quit. Quit. Because he wants to be a baker. I'm like, quit. Quit and start, I don't know, baking croissants out of your kitchen. Like, I do something, right? So he ended up, actually, he didn't quit, but he made an Instagram account and he's now posting pictures of his baked goods. I have another friend who's getting a divorce. Now you have to understand that I'm at an age where people are going to start getting divorced. Sorry to say, right? But again, living authentically, being honest with yourself. When he was honest with himself, he realized he married someone he shouldn't have married to begin with. So those things have been happening in my life. So Martin Heidegger, who's a German philosopher, who's not without his faults, namely supporting the Nazi Party, said that the experiences that are closest to us are the ones that are the hardest for us to understand. Once you start understanding those experiences, once you start understanding yourselves, you will be able to connect to people regardless of the difference that's perceived between you two. You take that approach online, the whole world becomes you. You start seeing yourself in every person you meet. And this has happened to me. I've been reconnecting with people from the past who I thought I couldn't possibly have anything in common with because of all the issues I talked about in college. I'm able to connect to people in really amazing ways that I never thought possible. Sure, in my own process, I've lost friends. Namely, the one story I can think about is a friend who unfriended me on Facebook because I argued with her politically. I was willing to do that, but she wasn't. She was not in a place where she could do that because she had not found her most authentic self, and I was threatening to her. So my question to you is this. What could you possibly do to keep you up till 5 in the morning, excited to create, to put out into the world? And you have to be honest with yourself about that. I'm here to tell you that I accept all of you as you are, but I'm going to have you repeat after me. You ready? I accept myself, and everybody here, as we fundamentally are. Thanks.